We have seen growth in exports, and that's very positive news in that manufacturers have been exporting their way out of trouble and in so doing helping to rebalance the economy. But that growth hasn't been as much as we'd expected, given we'd seen a 25% depreciation in sterling, which raises a question of why that's the case. I think there's two things. One is we're too reliant on the Eurozone as our major exporters. We need to be looking much further afield to China, India especially, where there's quick growth. Secondly, I think what we've seen is manufacturers look to take the opportunity of the exchange rate depreciation to increase prices abroad, boost profits at home and not increase volumes. That, I think, comes back to the state of credit here in the UK and the availability of credit. So we've got a kind of risk-averse nature of our manufacturers holding back, I think, possible growth in exports. Now, at some point, we've got to tackle that. We are going to see, I think, fairly sluggish growth here in the UK, given the scale of government's cuts coming through. There's uncertainty as well in our major export markets in the US, in the Eurozone. We've got to look much further afield to find exports. But the way we can rebalance this economy and get a driver of growth here is in terms of manufacturers really going for it on exports. That's going to boost employment here if they can do it successfully.
The export market is absolutely critical to Midlands manufacturers because of the fact that as we move forward out of the recession, it's very important that we are able to export goods and services to all around the world and bring in the revenues that we need into the Midlands. Over the last few years, what has happened is obviously the manufacturers in the Midlands have been in decline. As we know that the policies have been over the past few years to enable manufacturers not to succeed to the great extent that they should have done. And so we have an issue now where there isn't sufficient capacity within the Midlands in some of the manufacturing businesses to take up some of these opportunities. So what we actually do need to see is more businesses within the West Midlands taking that little bit extra risk and looking to exports and looking to grow their relationships, particularly with the BRIC countries, particularly with India and China, where in fact still our exports are at a woefully low level compared to some of our other competitors. So what is really important is that manufacturers in the UK look and spot the opportunities, not only to be suppliers to UK businesses and make sure that they perhaps take back some of the work that has gone abroad. And we're seeing that with some of the businesses now in the Midlands where suppliers to some of the major businesses are actually finding that there is opportunity here to displace the supplier in China, maybe because of the fact that the wage rates have gone up there, or perhaps because of the fact that the distances are too far for some of the components. And it's really making sure that the people are tuned in to the opportunities that there are out there, because otherwise we will miss the boat again. But I think we have to be realistic. I don't think there is a pot of gold out there that is going to come through from government for the foreseeable future.